Hello, welcome to Thursday night reading sprints. I'm joined today by my two lovely friends, Kasha and Michelle. I am the reason we are late. It's pure chaos here as usual. So thank you two for being patient. Thank you everybody in the comments for being patient. We haven't even had a chance to chat properly because I'd literally just come racing downstairs. So I hope you're both okay. Have you both had a good week?
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Good. It's half term here next week, so I'm looking forward I've had a really busy week and I'm looking forward to a slightly quieter week. I've just booked a Halloween themed afternoon tea with a kids' afternoon tea and an
Ooh.
adult one for me. I nearly didn't book myself the adult one, and then I thought, who am I kidding? I want this too. So I rang back and said, actually, can I have the adult one too? So we're going for a fancy spooky afternoon tea next week, and I'm
Oh,
ready
that's lovely.
for a little break. And we're doing like potion making and pumpkin picking and stuff like that. So having a proper spooky week, raising a spooky child.
Sounds fun.
Have you two got any Halloween plans? Because I feel like the only thing I miss out now is like the adult Halloween stuff. I just don't do any of that. Are either of you doing anything?
No, I mean, I don't like going to parties because I feel like people just want an excuse to get wasted, so I don't have fun in parties. Unless maybe it's a friend that loves horror or makes something private, but like to regular parties, I've never really been too much.
Same.
I am going to a screening of Christine
Ooh,
Oh,
that sounds
on
fun.
Halloween night because sometimes they put like older movies in the cinema here. We saw Hocus Pocus not long ago, which I've never seen in the cinema before. So I took the chance to watch in the cinema, and they are streaming Christine on exactly Halloween night. So that's what I'm gonna do.
There
Yeah,
used to be a really cool cinema near me about an hour away that did that, and they'd show films like I think we saw like The Goonies there and True Romance, like things that we
nice.
wouldn't have seen when they came
Yeah,
out. But yeah, that's closed now, unfortunately. We do occasionally get the like older films, but not as much.
yeah.
How about you, Michelle? Have you got any Halloween plans?
I usually do horror movie marathon with the same friends every year. So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That sounds really nice. I think the
Yeah.
only thing we are now not doing is like we used to go to haunted like experience type things a lot.
Mm,
Like you'd go and be chased through some woods or through like a warehouse or something.
yeah. I don't like that. I just
Too
don't like
scared.
people to touch me.
Yeah.
You see, generally
I don't like it.
the ones I've been to are like the no touching, no contact at all.
Oh,
Like they would
Mm.
get in trouble if they touched you type thing. And I think as long as I know that the rules are really clear, I'm not for
Yeah.
yeah,
you know that you're not supposed to die tonight, like full contact.
yeah,
Not for me. Like I've
yeah.
read articles about some places that do that in the UK, like that you can sign permission, or is it in America, whether you can sign
In
permission for them to.
America, you actually go to be tortured because you want to, and you have to sign something. And it's like a house where they put you through weird stuff. I mean, it's not like Saw level, but kind of like they put bugs on you, or they would put you in like a, I don't know, like they will tie you down somewhere, and you actually sign that you want this. So it's like,
Yeah, that's
mm,
where I like watching the horror, and I like the immersive kind of adrenaline rush horror, but I'm not for the.
Not that
no,
much.
no.
No,
But I
no. I
do, I
think
do
if
cook
it's aimed
like,
at kids, yeah,
yeah, I do cook. Like I try to make like little pizzas that look like mummies, or like
Mm.
I try to
cute.
do like pumpkin soup, like something for that day that it's more like Halloween themed. And I always watch the same movies over and over again. So I don't know if my partner wants to watch them or he just hates me at this point. Because I watch the same movies that day. Normally it's Nightmare Before Christmas, the original Halloween, Trick or Treat, which is one of my favorite movies of all times. Trick or Treat is a
Yeah.
movie that I can watch all the time. Sammy is so cute. And yeah, so it's, I don't really change much the movies, but now this year we're gonna go watch Christine in the cinema, so I'm excited about that. Change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I also would add The Lost Boys to that list. That's something that
Yeah.
I normally try and watch. I love it. I mean,
Yes.
I'd watch it any time of the year, but I tend to try and watch Lost Boys at Halloween. And yeah, Trick or Treat. I think we first watched it either last year or the year before last for the first time. I think you'd recommended it actually, Kasha, and I loved it. So I
It's
said to Kev this
fantastic.
year, if we only have time to watch one scary film, I
Yeah.
think I'm going to go and watch that one.
Like Sam and the boys from the bus, my favorite characters.
I
I
really
love them so
liked.
much.
I liked the grumpy neighbor as well.
Oh yeah.
Is he like was I may mix it up with something. The one who's like was his dog like was he trying to get his dog to go in the garden? Like I found that really funny that whole
Yeah.
I
sequence.
haven't watched it. Maybe this year.
No.
I
Maybe
think
this
you
year.
need to. I
Yeah.
think you would really like it. It's like I don't really know how to explain it. It's like Would you say it's like a B movie, Kasha? You're better at the horror
The thing
terminology.
is, that this movie didn't have like a huge budget. It just become a cult favorite. Like they were even supposed to do a sequel at some point, but it never happened. And I don't know if now it's too late because I think the movie is from 2009, maybe. So it's like an older movie now. But I think it's become more popular than it was supposed to. Like
I see. Okay.
yeah.
I tend to like things like that didn't do as well at the cinema as they were expected, or that, just did okay. But I don't know, things like True Romance I mentioned, and Fight Club, and like lots of Christian Slater films, like Pump Up the Volume. Like people didn't see them at the cinema, but then they seem to have like a cult following. I like that.
If you want another short horror story compilation, watch Tales of Halloween.
I don't think
I
I've seen
really
that.
like that one. It's well, gory at times, I guess, but I think it's fine. Even though I think there's something with a kid and candy, so I'm not sure. Check that.
I might just like fast forward it. There's something that we've watched. What's the short story? Tales of something.
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yeah, there's one we watched that Christian Slater was in one of them. I can't remember.
Tales from the Crypt.
Tales from the Crypt or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But yeah, I quite like those short story kind of.
Yeah, me too.
Like we haven't finished it, but I'm enjoying. Is it the Guillermo del Toro ones that we started watching? We watched a couple.
Oh, Cabinet of Curiosities.
Yeah, I've had no time. Like literally, I've got the Haunted Mansion queued up, ready to watch. I really want to watch Goosebumps. There's so many things coming out, and I'm just not watching TV at the minute. It's sad.
The new Mike Flanagan, the Fall of the House of Usher, is also out.
Yes,
it's
fantastic,
and I haven't had time to actually watch it.
It's great. I love Mike Flanagan.
Me too.
I've just checked. Kev's just checked me. It's called Tales from the Dark Side, the one that we've watched quite a few times.
Okay.
It's another one of those. I think it's like 80s, quite cheesy. But it's the kind of stuff I like a little bit creepy, but quite silly.
Yeah, there's also Creep Show, which I think there's 2 movies. I have them somewhere as well.
Yeah.
Which is also short stories. No, you never seen them?
I don't think so.
Oh, interesting.
Do you think I should watch them?
They're very campy. Don't take them too seriously. But even Stephen King and his son Joe Hill is from some of the stories. Tom Savini is there as well. Like there's a lot of big names and stuff. They're fun, but they're aged a little bit, I guess, and they're more campy. But they're fun.
I don't mind things like that. I think I can kind of set aside like this is clearly from the 70s or 80s vibe of stuff. Like I can usually enjoy it, especially though I think if you've watched it in the past, maybe watching it now like for the first time. So we've got the Halloween talk done. What are we reading tonight? I've done so badly with reading at the beginning of the month. Like I just haven't had time, and I've just my reading's picked up a little bit. I'm reading My Roommate is a Vampire at the moment.
Oh, cute!
I won't read any tonight, but I'm finding it really fun. I thought it was a YA book though, and it's feeling like it might be a bit spicy. I'm like, I'm accidentally reading an adult book.
Yeah,
I thought it was YA. It's very like pastel-y cover, and I just from the title it just sounded YA to me. I didn't read the blurb, but I am enjoying it. I'm kind of wanting. It's that point where it's really obvious to the reader. Obviously, the title is My Roommate is a Vampire, so and it's like she's just noticing his cold skin and cold apartment and the fact that he sleeps all day, and you're like, come on, what say he's a vampire? But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's fun. How about you, Michelle? What are you planning to read tonight?
So actually, as I was telling you, Amy, I've started writing now.
Yay!
So
I'm reading tonight.
I think I'm gonna do my writing for the first sprint, and then probably my brain won't cooperate anymore, and I think then I'll do some reading. And because I wanted something more light and fluffy, I want to read Legends and Lattes.
Oh yes, I enjoyed
that. So I thought
that.
I'd give that a try. So yeah, I'm gonna write horror and then read not horror.
That sounds good. So is this a first draft that you're working on now?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to read in the sprint. I'm going to be editing. I'm on Mina and the Cult. Kind of a structural edit. It's not massively heavy, but there's like lots of little things that I have to check all the way through the book. Like there's certain little character changes that I'm making that they're annoying because it sounds like a small thing, but if the character is a certain way, they've got to be that way on,
Yeah.
every nearly 300 page. So yeah, so it's kind of a bit technical what I'm doing, but it's getting there. It feels like you could read it now and think, oh yeah, I see that. That's a book now. But it's not quite ready for human consumption yet. How about you, Kasha? I'm assuming reading. You're not going to surprise us and join the writing club just yet.
Eventually, maybe, I don't know, but I don't have time right now. My life is too busy as it is. I'm catching up with books for Yuck, and they happen to be both queer books. I have All That's Left in the World, which is a post-apocalypse book about two boys that live in what's left in the world after a virus basically wiped out 90% of population. So they meet and they're kind of traveling together. I'm really enjoying that one. And I'm also reading 16 Souls.
Yay!
And I'm also enjoying it so far.
Is that your first read of 16 Souls?
Yes, it is.
Cool.
And yeah, I just really like her writing. Her story was one of my favorite ones in A Taste of Darkness. I finished the anthology, and I really enjoyed it. I think the second to last, I think it was called Beauty and Beauty and the Beauty or something. I was reading it and I was like, is this YA? I was like, that's the one that I was like, wait, it's like, is this YA? So it's an interesting combination of different stories. So if anybody's looking for short horror story compilation, and I love Cynthia Murphy's story, loved it.
It was a good way to end the book, I think.
Yeah.
That one. Like, we had to think carefully about what note did we want people to be left on, and that story ended on like a good kind of unsettling note, I think. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you for reading. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's definitely an eclectic mix. The authors kind of did their own thing and wrote like what they wanted to write. So I think everybody's style is just exactly what they wanted to do. So I think some people like Catherine Foxfield, I think she felt that she was able to go a bit darker because she could just like move away from the horror thriller thing and just kind of lean into the horror. So it's fun. Kate Alyssa's one really scared me. When I first read it, my living room has sliding glass doors and they make quite a big feature in the story. And I just sat there looking at my doors and looking at Kate's story. Like, I'm really creeped out now. And I messaged her, like, I really, really wish I'd not read this. So I'm like sitting on my own in my living room with doors, just like the story doors. Thank you. And I love that with horror, like, you know, when it kind of really messes with your head. Like, I think that one messed with me the most, probably just because it felt like my situation. So let's see what the people in the comments are doing, and then we can jump to the first sprint and hopefully have a nice productive time. Excellent. Is this a reread, first read for a particular purpose? Intriguing. I always look forward to these, Stephen. Thank you for coming on. Excellent. Oh, that sounds intriguing. So is this something you're going to be using next year to plan your reading? That sounds very organized. Hi, Amelia. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Vix. Oh, that sounds very nice. And yeah, this is me next week.
That's cute.
Yeah, I don't know whether I could cope with the kind of US full contact, but yeah, see, I've seen The Lost Boys. The Lost Boys was on at that screening, at that cinema that did like oldie stuff. I don't think I've managed to see Christine. I actually read Christine for the first time when Kev was doing his A-levels, the year I did my AS levels. So while he was studying, I sat and read Christine just because it was one of like the 3 books that he owned, and I absolutely loved it. Yeah, so 20 years ago. Oh gosh, yeah, don't age us.
I think my first horror movie was Scream, probably, and I also saw the Blair Witch Project in the cinema. So
yeah, I saw the Blair Witch Project. I think Final Destination was probably one of the early ones I watched because I think I was 13 when Scream came out, and I didn't think I could get in.
I don't know how, but I was going to these horror movies when I was underage. I think in my small town nobody cared.
In the UK,
I didn't even take my parents with me.
Really? I mean, you can kind of get away with it in the UK, like 1 or 2 years, but I don't think it, like, you wouldn't be 12, 13 going to see an 18. They would just turn you away. Or they would if you were me and had a baby face like I did.
Because when did the first Scream come out? Was it 92?
No.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it's
I don't know.
96 because I
Oh,
can't.
more
I
older.
reference it in my book. I think I might have been 12 when it came out at the cinema, and then 13 when it came out on.
Yeah, then I was 13 when I went to the cinema, and I went with 2 of my girlfriends. I didn't go with my parents.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we watched it as sleepover on video and completely
Yeah.
like freaked all of us out. Like, didn't want to be left alone for the whole night. I think it's my first encounter with like serial killer stuff, probably. So
Probably, yeah,
I
for me
I'd
as
not
well.
really thought of the fact that that was a thing people could do, and like ruined after that. Hi, Alicia. Yes, I mean, thank you. Kev was looking that up.
Oh yeah.
They're very weird. I'm happy with fun, but very Disney.
Yeah.
Ooh, I think somebody else has recommended that to me. Campy vampy horror. I like. That's like my favorite thing. Okay, I need to add vamp to the list for this Halloween. Ooh, that sounds
Yeah.
so fun.
Mm.
That's really
Dead
fun.
Scream. Okay, yeah, that sounds like my perfect mixture of things. Oh, thank you for coming on, Sabrina. Yes, I was surprised how much I love it, because my feelings towards fantasy tend to be a bit mixed, but it was just the right amount of fantasy for me. Like, I could fully digest. Yes, we need to add this to the list. Oh, that sounds
Nice.
absolutely the perfect way to reset.
Yeah.
We first did it when I don't know whether I was ill or Kev was ill, but we ended up like, I don't know whether we were both ill. Like, we did some binge watching of Supernatural. Like, it's just really especially the early seasons.
Hmm.
I think really comforting. I love horror comedy. I think I like it even more than straight like serious horror sometimes. Like, I'm assuming, have you two watched? Is it Tucker and Dale Against the Apocalypse? Dale and Tucker.
Yeah.
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 I love that. Like things like that, and the zombie one that I forget the name of, that's got Woody Harrelson in.
Oh, Zombieland.
Yeah. Things like that I really like. Yeah, I mean, who would? Yeah, agreed. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying that. That is the one of the few books I've managed to complete this month, and I did really enjoy it. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So you've not read the books. I'll be interested to see what you think of the Harry Potter films versus the books. Scratch is a good title. That makes my skin crawl. I like it. Have you got a list of books, Sabrina? Can we help you choose what to read next? Yeah, do you know what? I was thinking about watching like doing a live stream kind of watch
that'd be
like a
fun.
movie or something. I think that'd be really nice. I don't know if anybody wants to see my face watching a horror film though. I'm not very expressive. You do need to watch one with this. I watched Lost
You
Boys
will
with...
just watch me smiling all the time, so
Yeah,
and
well, I
probably
think
clapping if somebody dies.
yeah, I mean, you'd be more interesting. I think I'm quite passive when I watch films. My friend Mia, I showed her The Lost Boys for the first time, and she was like clutching onto me and
Oh,
jumping and
really?
squeaking and like, yeah, like anything gory she found, she squealed. And I think that's more fun to watch than I'd just be like
Yeah.
soaking in. But yeah, I have thought about whether I could do some sort of something like that.
Fair.
That sounds awesome. My dad, that was me with the horror section. My dad owning the video shop, I like eventually managed to bargain my way into the 18s. I think with my parents, they were fine as long as they knew it wasn't going to disturb me. I sort of took that on. They're like, if that scares you, you've got yourself to blame, and I was fine. No, I haven't. I haven't dipped my toes into that series at all. I know other people who've been on have, and it tends to get mixed reactions. So I think it's very wild and confusing. Have you tried them, Kasha? I feel like
No.
it might have been. I don't know whether it was when Sharon was on.
I think Sharon has read it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't.
They do. They sound good. It's necromancers in space, which already I'm a bit confused. So, love it. It's so long since I've read it. I really want to reread, but because it's so long,
yeah.
I keep putting it off because I know it'll take me about 6 months to read. Oh, it was you. Yes, I do. I need to watch Vam. Oh yeah, do completely go on your mood. Choose something that calls to you. I did that with my roommate as a vampire, and I'm so happy. I'm going to try. Is Gideon the first one? I think I do have that. I'm going to be brave and try it. I just don't know whether I can cope if it's really confusing. Okay, so we're going to jump to a sprint. For anybody who's not been here before, we'll probably do 40 minutes chat, 40 minutes chat, and then 30 minutes if either of you two on screen want to head off early, that is fine, and I will be here till the end. It usually wraps up just after 10 o'clock.
Oh no.
Yeah, I hear this is a common theme with these books, and I quite like being confused in some ways. Like if it's confusion as in that I can see myself getting to a point where I will get it. The problem is with some fantasy, I was confused and don't come out of it. Yeah, keep us posted, Kay, how you get on with that, and everybody let us know in the comments how you're getting on. So Michelle and I are going to go right. Kasha, enjoy your reading, and we will see you on the side. Hello.
No.
I've acquired a Kev. He won't
Oh,
intervene in the
the cat.
discussion, but it's just helping me go through my outline for Mina and the Cult, because one of the jobs I'm trying to do is check that everything's really robust and that like there's no scenes in there that shouldn't be or in the wrong place or like characters that disappear. And I just find it really easy. If I've written a really detailed outline, rather than having to flick through the whole book, I've got like an Excel spreadsheet, which is really nerdy and sort of color coded, and yeah, it's just helpful. If you get to that point, Michelle, and you want to chat like nitty gritty of how I get through this whole process, let me know, because I've tried and tested so many things, and now I think I've got like a system that works for me anyway. Whether it might be useful for you. How did it go, your writing sprint?
So I'm actually writing now short story. So the
Okay.
scope is much smaller, so that's easier. And as you said, I wanted to have. So I started writing the beginning, but then I decided I wanted a more detailed outline. So I went back to that. But yeah, I'm not super sure what the ending looks like. So I was thinking about that for a little bit.
Do you find that you need to know the ending before you write? Because I did a podcast with Mia, who I put the anthology together with earlier, and it was interesting. She said she knows the beginning and knows the ending, and she does a bit of discovery in the middle. But I
Yeah.
sometimes don't know the ending when I start. Like I'm like, right, I know enough about this that I'm just going to plow on. Do you feel like you need to know the ending before you
I
write?
think I think for other stories that I've outlined, I didn't know. And I started writing without knowing. But I think for this one, I need to know.
Okay.
So maybe it depends.
Yeah.
Maybe it depends. Yeah.
I get that. So you've got it handled, obviously. And I do think you're right. The scale of a short story, I was so surprised when I wrote the anthology one, because I haven't written that many short stories. I was like, oh, I can actually keep in my head what happens. Like
Yeah.
in a book, that is the hardest thing. I
Oh, I
find
can
myself
imagine.
going, did I put that in, or did I just think about putting it in? Like with a short story, it's just right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of wish I'd done it that way around. I've kind of, I didn't test myself out on short stories like I could have done. I think I just plowed straight in with writing full length books.
Yeah.
I'm just getting distracted by Cash's kitty.
So cute.
Sorry. He's
I
a
can
little bit
barely see him.
needy at the moment. Yeah, I know.
It's a good distraction. Like, and I
Yeah.
just like the fact that
Yeah.
blends in with your whole like aesthetic and decor as well.
Mhm.
Because at first
Yeah,
I was
this
like,
is
is there a cat there? Like, I could just tell. I could just
yeah.
see a hand moving, and I thought, yeah, there's a
A
cat.
shadow.
Yeah, this is Michael Morbius. Yes. This is Dr. Michael
I do.
Morbius.
When I see you cuddling your cats, I'm like, I miss having a cat.
I want a cat too.
Yeah. I know. I do. To be fair, I have a 3-year-old who I can kind of manhandle and cuddle in the same way, if I need to. But he's maybe slightly less amenable to it than a cat would be.
Yeah.
And he can talk now, and that's like a cat can't say, "Get off me, human! I've had enough." Like a 3-year-old will say that.
No, cats just
Oh,
leaves and be like, I've had enough, thank you for your services.
yeah.
Yeah. Basically.
So, which book did you end up reading, Kasha?
I read a couple of chapters from 16 Souls. I need to catch up a bit with that one because I'm doing a body read. So I'm also taking notes so I can comment. So it takes me a little bit longer to get through it because I'm like, oh, I'm taking notes so I can talk about stuff and what I thought of things. But I'm really enjoying it. Yeah. I think
But
it's
I think it will help
interesting.
you. I think it'll help you reading that, and then maybe reading the second one fairly close after, because that was one of the books where I
Oh,
wished I'd read the first book, because some of the
I
stuff,
see.
like the magical system in it,
Mm,
which I think kind of develops as the book goes on, and like how the ghosts work and stuff. I'd kind of forgotten a lot of that, so I
mm.
got there in the end because Rosie kind of put reminders in. But I think sometimes some books, like I wish I'd read the previous book before reading the sequel. So yeah, I think it's good in a way. I sometimes wish I would delay a book till the next book is out so that I can read them together. I do prefer
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. They
And then
just
you got
got started talking about the magic, so we'll see.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I had to leave 18 months between my books just because life and child and stuff. So I do feel bad that some people read it and then they're like, oh, 18 months till the next one. Thank you. But it's just life happens in between. Um, Good. That sounds like a productive sprint. I think it's good that you make notes, Cash. I'm a terrible buddy reader because I don't, and I'm a bit chaotic with.
Yeah, I have to
my-
because I like to have things to comment and things to speculate or like foreshadowing things. That's why I like notes for buddy reads because otherwise I would forget probably most of the
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's very good. I need to do that more, especially for, like, the YA book club. I sometimes don't do that, and then I'm like, oh, I've forgotten who the characters are and what actually
Yeah.
happened in this book.
I do
Okay,
that for
good.
book clubs, and I do that for if I'm gonna do a specific video for a book review. I need notes because otherwise I'll forget. It's not like I'll forget everything, but I might forget important things that I wish I would have mentioned.
Yeah, and I don't know about you two, but sometimes I start reviewing a book and I'm like, I realize I've got nothing to say about this. Like, I really liked it.
But
That's
why?
it. Yeah, I know.
What do I have to say? And like, sometimes I think if I planned that out more, I would be a bit more articulate in my videos. Like, otherwise, I end up saying, I liked the characters, I liked what happened in it. Because I try not to give spoilers like you, Kasha. I know that you sort of really kind of spell out, don't you, the ones that if anything's going to have spoilers or not. And I appreciate that. So I'm always really mindful when I watch yours. I'm like, yes, Kasha was good at this. Like, not
Yeah,
doing
because I
things.
hate being spoiled. I hate it. Like big spoilers. I'm not talking like small things or like things that happen in the first chapter. But big spoilers really upset me.
Yeah, I
To be
think
honest,
anything
I'm
in
one
the
of those
blurb.
people.
Yeah, anything in the blurb I think is pretty much fair game. But some blurbs do give a lot away. Like, sometimes I don't read the blurb if it's the kind of book where
I also
really
don't read it.
like Vampires of El Norte that I picked up. I had no idea what it was about, except that it had a beautiful woman on the front and it was called Vampires. And I was like, yep, that's all I need. I didn't read the blurb because I was like, somebody said it was a Western and vampires and romance.
Yeah.
And intentionally, because of that, I thought I don't want to know anything going into this. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. It just because often if I get sent books by publishers, I've already read the blurb because that's what made me like, they say, do you want this book?
Yeah.
Here's the description. So I read it and decide on that basis. So sometimes I already have like been primed to, some of the stuff.
Yeah, or I just read maybe the first paragraph and then just decide based on that.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I buy a lot of books online now, or I get sent them. So I think I do. I mean, I'm in bookshops a lot, but generally I'm not buying stuff. I'm just signing stuff and walking out because otherwise it's just too expensive. Like the other day, I think I went in 6 or 7 bookshops to sign books, and I thought if I bought a book, even one book in each one, that ends up being an expensive day. So I have to really try. I did buy 2 though because I saw a really nice edition of Callum Bayron's middle grade debut, The Vanquishers, I think it's called, which is a a vampire middle grade book. And it had the gorgeous Waterstone spreadsheets. So then, of course, there's buy one, get one half price, and they just enable you in Waterstones. Like, they really know how to get you. Like, it's really bad. So I bought 2 books.
That's fair. That's gonna be me when I go to England. That's gonna be me.
Yay! Yay!
When I go to Waterstones or like other books. Yeah. I'm forcing again my partner to take an empty suitcase just for me. Last year he did that. He took like an empty suitcase. He's like, I don't need it. And I'm like, I'm not saying it's for you. I'm saying it's for my books. That's how it works,
I mean, the tricky
you don't
thing
need it. I do.
Did you find at Yelp last year that any of the books you wanted were sold out? Because I think some of them sold out pretty fast. So some books, it's like, do you take it with you to get it signed? Or
I have bought more books this year to get signed because I think it's nicer if I already read the book. I think last year I bought a lot of books that I had not read yet. And then I feel a bit more awkward because you go there to get it signed and you have not read it. But I mean, it's fair, you cannot read everything before you go there anyway. But I'm trying this year to read more in advance.
I always ask people if they've read it because, like, I kind of tailor what I say accordingly. And quite often it is just that somebody's heard you speak and they liked the sound of the book, so they buy it then. So I kind of like that as well. Like, it obviously sounds like a book that they'd like from the description. So yeah, it doesn't bother me. I'm quite happy. I also get people who say, like, they tell me minutiae about the book, and I'm like, I don't even remember that, but I'm going to nod and pretend that I do. It's like, oh, I really like the scene when this happened and this person said the thing, and I'm like, the thing,
Yeah.
Especially the second
Do
book.
people ask you to put like a quote for them in like from the book, and then you
the first
blank?
time it happened was the first time it happened was at Yelk, and I absolutely blanked, and it's happened since then, and I just keep writing the same quote because I remembered one at Yelk, luckily. because it's hard. Like, I remember the gist of most of it, but
Mm.
there are certain standout lines that I do like, but I just forgot them as soon as somebody asked me for one. And some people ask me to write Buffy quotes too, because they know I'm a Buffy fan.
Oh.
So in one book I wrote on request, they got the mustard out from the musical episode. And I've written a few other things from Buffy that people have asked for. That luckily, I know Buffy probably better than my own book, so I can quote the Buffy things quite easily. But yeah, I think the mustard thing was probably the weirdest thing. Some people asked me to draw too, and I'm not an artist, so I was really sorry. Where they're like, "Can you draw me a bat?" I'm like, maybe some blood drips. Yeah.
Can try.
Maybe take stickers with you and just put stickers.
Yeah, here's my cute bat sticker that somebody else has drawn. Yeah, I can draw an okay bat.
Or a stamp. That would also be cute.
Yeah, I did used to have a
works.
cute little bat stamp, and I ended up covered in ink, and then I was scared that I was going to like cover the books in ink.
Smudge,
I'm left-handed and I'm really messy. Like, I tend to like smudge things as I'm writing, and I was getting all little bats all down my arm, so I stopped doing that. Yeah. Sorry, I just went on a tangent there. These are all the things that go through my mind when I'm sitting at the signing table. Let's see what the people in the comments are doing, and then we can jump to another sprint. Hi, Lizzie.
Nice.
That sounds like a nice, relaxing evening. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that the Gideon books are ones that I will be able to read and understand. I think that they, from what people have said, they do get clearer as you go through. That sounds very organized. Yeah, that was the I think the calendar that Brett mentioned that they were making. I keep thinking that I need to be a bit better with like journaling with reading and stuff, and like using one of my diaries to plot out what I'm going to read and then actually write down what I read, but I never actually managed to stick to it. Excellent. What are you reading, Lizzie? Nice. Great. Well done, Kylie. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with pantsing. I've got some friends that completely pants a book, and I think their editing is longer. Like, they just go into it knowing, like, I think Naomi, when she wrote Every Line of You, which is like about a girl builds an AI who kind of ends up being her boyfriend, she just totally wrote it. Like, she had that idea, girl makes AI boyfriend, and she just wrote it and kind of edited a bit as she went along, and then edited afterwards. And then Melissa Welliver, who wrote My Love Life in the Apocalypse, she writes like a detailed, like 15,000 word plan where she knows exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think that would be me. That would be me.
Yeah, I can see
I need to have a structure. Like, I need a plan. I'm very OCD with that. I think I would need that.
I like to know roughly. Like, I tend to know what the big moments are, and like some twists do come up. I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were going to do that. Interesting. But generally the big twists I know, and I work towards them. But I like the little moments. So I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were going to do that, you sneaky character. That's cool. Or, oh, I don't like it, the fact that I just wrote that. So, because sometimes the discovery process does take me down the wrong path, but I quite enjoy that. So yeah, I think for me, being between the two for now works. It's all I can do. I mean, that's fair. If you need some help, let us know. Kev is good. Kev is, as usual, helping me and being supportive. It's definitely a family effort writing my books. Even Nathan plays his little part, bless him. He goes to bed, I write. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder, especially when they're here, I'm just like...
Yeah, hi everyone. Yeah. Everything's fine. I don't have a cat.
Yeah.
We pretend, Amy.
Yeah, I could have my pretend cat. In fact, too fair, I've got so many soft toys. Like, within reach, there will always be a soft toy. So I could just cuddle baby Mickey.
Like a plushie. Yeah.
I love that book. I hope you enjoy it. It's one of my favourite Grady Hendrix ones. Interesting. I nearly asked a question then that I don't know whether I should ask that question. I want to know where the dragon's involved in the smut, but maybe I don't want to know.
I don't think you want to know.
I don't. Yeah, but I'm guessing not. I'm like, is it humans and then separate dragons, or is this? Yeah,
I think it's mixed.
Yeah. Okay. Let's not go there. Yeah, I always, so many times have I bought a beautiful aesthetic book, and I love doing them. I just don't to me, I would end up not reading because I'd have to be filling in the journal in the time I would be reading. I'd rather it's like read, write. That would just be at the bottom of the pile every time. So I have just bought a diary, like an academic year one that runs from like September to July, just because I need to get myself organised. But apart from that, I always look longingly like Dawn Kurtagich on her YouTube channel. She does like the spreads in her book, and I know Jodie from Vanilla Moon's done it before, and Chloe from Books with Chloe, and I look at all of them like that is beautiful. I want that, but I haven't managed to achieve it yet. Excellent, that's exciting, Lily. I was just talking to somebody about that today. I tried Camp NaNoWriMo once, but I'm never actually writing during November. I'm always editing. I must work in a cycle where November is an editing month for me. Literally the last 5 years I've always been editing. Maybe next year I'll really try and like make it fall that way, but sadly not. That could be you, like Michelle. Do you fancy NaNoWriMoing it, or is that just too
I don't think I'm ready for a novel just yet.
Yeah, I get that. And you can take your time. If it's something like publication, it might be something you want to do further down the road. Just you don't have to rush. Like I have to rush because I'm on a deadline, but make the most of this time where you're not rushing, because now like I haven't got time to improve my craft. I've just got to do it and hope that the doing is part of the improvement process, which I think it is. I do think that it's coming a little bit easier and I'm getting a bit better, but I haven't got time to really dedicate to it. So yeah. Definitely. There is no rush. Oh,
that makes sense.
Okay. Yep. I'm getting some Avatar vibes. Did any of you sit and watch Avatar ever and think like they're connecting with animals? Like connect their hair to their animals. It's like, okay, this is for sort of children, but okay. That's so good that it has fallen that way. And yeah, the jumping between's hard because it's hard to be objective, isn't it? And to know which is the best thing that you're writing. I always think it's the one you're the most excited about is probably in turn with the one that other people will be excited about. That's what's always worked for me. But I'm excited for you, Lily. I'm going to live vicariously because I wish I was writing something new. And I am enjoying editing, but I'm ready to write something new later in the year. I'm going to start something, I think, because with Between a Taste of Darkness, this other thing I wrote, which I started last year, I've written Mina and the Cult this year. So it's a while since I've written anything that wasn't Mina or a short story. So I'm quite looking forward to a couple of things. I need to decide. I'm down to like 2 things that I want to write next. Yes, maybe I'll chat to you about that at some point, Michelle. You can help me decide what I'm doing. Okay, so let's go to this one. This one will be 40 minutes. I'm going to bring Kev back over looking intently at his computer now, so I might have lost him. He says he's going to come back and help. So Kev will reappear. So thanks, everyone. I hope you two both have a good sprint. So are you reading now, Michelle? Is the
Yeah, I'm going to switch. Turn my brain off a little bit.
Yeah, that sounds good. I keep getting asked this question because I've just announced And the Cult. Officially, yes, it has always been a trilogy, and that's always what I intended. However, I've started to have a little tickle in my brain, which I didn't expect, but I was like, hypothetically, like what could the next thing be? So there's no definites, but there are some hypothetical ponderings going on at the moment. It's always the way, isn't it? Like, I think your creative brain doesn't necessarily do what you want it to. It's like concentrate on this thing and it's thinking about something else. So yeah, maybe. I used to say no, and now I say maybe. Also, it depends on my publisher. If they wanted something, it might be no because they might not want it. So who knows? That is the answer to that question. And I'm going to go to a sprint now. I'm just going to mark the last comment because I always get lost. Okay, so another 4-minute sprint, and we'll see you on the other side. Hello. Hope that went well for everyone. Sorry, I just like had a moment where I forgot how to do everything on StreamYard. Okay, sorted. How did it go, Kasha?
Good. I read a couple of chapters, so I'm nearly all caught up with my body read, which is good. So
Nice. It's nice,
yeah,
isn't
I'm
it?
enjoying it.
Time it out. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So, what chapter are you up to?
17.
Yeah, I bet things are getting underway now. It's a while since I read it because I read, I think, I'm trying to think, it was a physical proof, like maybe a year, 6 months before it came out. So it's been a while since I've read that one.
Yeah, it's like Charlie is already working together with Sam, and they're kind of at the cemetery investigating some crypts and stuff. And you can already see like the enemies to lovers kind of vibe, and I like that. I'm basic like that. Give me enemies to lovers, I'll eat that up. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's fine with me as well. Basic is fine. Like I'm reading a book with kind of an old school love triangle at the minute. I'm like, yeah, it's been a while since I've had a love triangle book.
love triangles are tricky for me. Either I love them or I cannot stand them. It depends.
I don't know. I'm
Depends.
quite easygoing with tropes. I just think if it's good writing, it doesn't bother me if it's a trope. I think if it's really obvious and like it's just kind of retreading old material, that's when I get bored. Yeah, this one. Oh, in fact, you've read it, I think. Oh, what's it called? The one about the streaming where they go into the YouTubers. They go,
Oh yeah, Channel Fear. Yeah, I hated the triangle.
oh, okay.
Hated it.
Yeah, it's feeling like it's going. I've only read I think 60 or 70 pages, and it's feeling like it's going in the way of a love triangle. So you didn't vibe with that one.
I just thought it was not necessary at all to tell the story. Like it's just shoved in there. I don't know, it irritated me a little bit because they're supposed to be working together doing this thing and they're always talking about this relationships and stuff, and it started to bother me a little bit, so I was not a fan of that. I didn't see why it was necessary in a paranormal investigation book.
Yeah, I think that's
I don't
always the
know.
thing, particularly in YA with romance. It's always asking the question of is it needed, isn't it? And
Yeah,
whether it actually feels like a real thing that's developing for those characters at that time, or if it's just a
yeah.
distraction. I
But
tend to like romance, but I don't always feel it's needed.
yeah, I mean, romance is one thing, but love triangle is another. Like sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I don't like love triangles because it always feels like one of the characters is being dishonest or
Yeah,
selfish, or and I don't really like the vibe, like that's why I like enemies to lovers is fun, or friends to lovers, but when it comes to either cheating or love triangles, it depends.
yeah, I know
Because I don't
what.
know, makes the characters a bit less likable for me,
Yeah,
because it just feels like you're being dishonest with people or you're trying to steal people from each other. I don't know. It's just a little bit like weirder. It's not the banter of enemies to lovers. I love that. I love when they hate each other. They say ridiculous things to each other and then they end up kissing and I love it. That's, yeah.
I'm just thinking of one where I liked it recently, With Fire in Their Blood by Kat Delacour, which is like mafia
Ooh.
magic, like crumbling town in Italy, and girl kind of goes to reluctantly, her dad gets a job there, and it's a really weird place. And that's one of those where like everybody's really hot and she doesn't know who she's interested in, and I was like, is that a love square? I don't know, but she like had crushes on all these people, and I kind of that felt quite believable to me as a teenager. Like if they were surrounded by
Yeah.
like loads of hot boys, I think they would just be like, "Oh yeah, he's hot, but he's hot." And he's hotter, you know. And like by the end, I was like, "Yeah, if that's what she wants."
Yeah. I mean,
And
that
it was
depends.
just
I didn't
cute.
mind to all the boys I've loved before because there's
Mm,
like a little love triangle there, but I
yeah,
get it. In that situation, she was a bit more confused about her feelings and she was not being completely dishonest or anything like that. But that was like more of a romance coming of age kind of thing, and I
yeah.
get it.
And it was like
Um,
past crush and present crush, wasn't it?
yeah,
Sort of thing.
yeah. But with like, yeah, these letters were sent and she didn't know that these guys were gonna get it, and she was kind of put in an awkward situation where she liked this boy and she also liked that one before, and so, but sometimes like in Channel Fear, like it distracts me way too much. Like it took too much away of a bigger part in the story. and it's taking away the fun of the exploring the haunted house kind of thing. That was my biggest, I think, pet peeve there as well.
I'll let you know when I get further in if that's how I feel. So far, I'm enjoying it, but we will see. How about you, Michelle? Did you have a good read?
Yeah, I read the first 3 chapters of Legends and Lattes.
Yeah.
I don't read a lot of fantasy, so it's an interesting change. But yeah, I feel like nothing's really happened so far. I know that it's not a very action-packed book at all. It's more supposed to be just like cozy. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm still undecided.
It's mostly vibes, I think, that book.
Yeah,
And it's very like gentle, and the kind of even the peril when it comes, like there is some mild peril, but
hmm
it's definitely, what does it say on the front? Like high fantasy, low stakes,
yeah,
good coffee
yeah,
or something like
yeah.
that. I think, yeah, if you like the sound of those things, that is exactly what you're getting. And I did. I think it took me a while though. Like you said, I'm not hugely familiar with fantasy tropes and stuff, so some
hmm
of that was
hmm
probably a bit lost on me. Like
Yeah,
if
yeah,
any
me too.
tropes were being played with, I would have been like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and how in fantasy they just throw in like words that are specific to the fantasy, and I was like, wait, what is this? But then you have to just like figure out what it means in the book. But yeah, it's okay so far.
And I do like the fact in it that things like coffee are like an unknown
Oh
concept in it,
yeah.
and trying to
How
explain
do
it to
you
other people.
explain it? It's
And
tea,
they're
but
like,
it's
like
these
you grind
beans.
these really bitter things and you mix it with water and you can put milk into, and they're like, oh, that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I don't know whether have you got to a character that bakes yet?
Not yet.
Okay, I really liked when you get to the baking. I think you might appreciate that.
I
I think
love
it's really
baking,
cute.
so I'll probably like that.
Yeah, there's yeah, I won't say anything more, but there's
Okay.
something I liked about that. Okay, let's go to the comments and see how people are doing because it's getting late and we can do a half-hour sprint if you two want to stick around. Well done, Stephen. Nice, Amelia. I think you've got about 100 pages left, have you? Things are probably heating up right about now. Okay, so Lily is... I forgot what Lily's reading. I can't remember what you said you're reading. Oh, Southern Book Club's Guys Slaying Vampires. Yeah, got it. Yeah, that is one of those books, I think, where there are some slower patches in it, and then when the horror hits, it's like, boom, and then you might get a slower bit again for a little while. But yeah, I liked that about it. Oh, I've heard that that's a really cute middle grade book. I think if I'm thinking the right one, it's about a non-binary character who is going to secondary school, and the school system kind of, I don't know whether it's something to do with like boys and girls are splits, and this character is thinking, well, where do I fit? And it's about kind of like belonging and figuring things out and society needing to, move with the times and stuff like that. If that is the one I'm thinking of. Great. I think you read some last time, Kylie, powering through that book. Nice. I really want to read that one, but my reading this month is just not
I
really
just borrowed Leech from the library. I've been really looking forward to it.
I think, if I remember right, I think Sharon, you were enjoying that one last time we spoke. I'm not sure whether you've enjoyed it by the end. Yeah, I'm really conscious that on Halloween I'm doing an event with 4 authors, and 2 of them I haven't read their books yet, and I really want to, like, if I'm doing an event I'm not chairing this one, but if I'm doing an event with people, I need to read those. So as much as I want to read that point horror, I know I've got to read 2 other books at first. I like a bit, Sharon. What about a bit of kissing, like to heighten the drama and the tension?
Yeah, a little bit's fine.
And I like the fact that if 2 characters are in love, like I don't know, maybe I relate to that. I've got my cap here, but I relate to the fact of I care more. Like, say in The Hills Have Eyes, I find that terrifying that it's about a family who are just on a holiday that suddenly gets hijacked by really horrible people. I find that more scary because of that. I think relationships to me can really like heighten the tension, but that's where the personal preference thing comes in. Okay, yeah, Thimble the Baker, that's the character I'm referring to. I do have a copy of Bookshops and Bone Dust now, but I haven't started reading it yet. The pattern of my life right now. strange, malignant gothic horror. That sounds.
I like
I think you
Malignant.
might enjoy that, Michelle.
Yeah.
I hope you do anyway when you get to it. Okay, let's do the last sprint. Are you two both happy to stay, or is okay? Cool. I was
Yeah.
going to say this was goodbye at any point. I know it's very late for you, Kasha, now, but
Yeah, I'll try.
if you start nodding, I'm sure the cats will jump on you. So
Yeah, I have one here. It's
Oh,
he's 1.5 years. Yeah, but he's black, so you
the
cannot
shadow
tell.
cat.
Yeah,
yeah,
this one
I
is
didn't.
low.
Oh yeah, I didn't actually notice that there was a cat at that point. We could play like a Where's Wally game, couldn't we? Like, okay, did
Yeah.
Cash have a cat during that sprint? How many different cats were there? Let's see how well people are paying attention.
I mean, normally only 2 jump on my lap. It's only the 2 boys.
Hmm.
Oh,
The black boys.
that's like little boys and their mummies. That's what my little boy's like. And then I think human boys tend to be quite cuddly as well, in my experience. Maybe they're just not in my family, but okay, let's pop the timer on. We'll do 30 minutes this one, and I'll see you on the other side.
See you.
Hello, and that's it. Last sprint. I hope everyone had fun. Let us know in the comments, because before we wrap up, how you got on in the last one. How did you two get on? How about you, Michelle?
I read 2 more chapters. Still a little bit on the fence, but I think maybe we'll pick up a little bit more. Or maybe, yeah, I don't know. Maybe reading something so relaxed is not great for this late.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very gentle book as well, and I think
Yeah.
that if that isn't what you're used to and
Yeah.
into, you're kind of wanting that bit of action. I think that if you like the relationship stuff, some of that gets going a little bit more later as well. So I'd keep going if you're not completely at like
Yeah,
point
I'll
D.
probably keep at it for a bit more.
Definitely. I'm sorry it hasn't immediately grabbed you, but I seem to think I had a
Yeah,
similar reaction. Like I wasn't sure instantly, and then I got pretty into it.
yeah, I think it's also really just not my usual style
Yeah.
of book, so it's always harder getting used to something a bit different.
Yeah, I find that whenever I dip into something new, especially if it's like contemporary romance or something, I'm always like, where's the murder and the people like fighting?
Yeah.
Like they're having a verbal argument. That's boring. So yeah, I think I'm with you there. Kev looks weird that he's wearing sunglasses. He's wearing blue blocking glasses in case anyone's wondering. Like, I should be wearing them too, really. I find it a bit better if I put them on late at night to kind of, and I'm using screens and stuff. But yeah, he doesn't think he's too cool for sprints or anything.
Reminds me that song like that says I wear sunglasses at night. I don't know if you know it. I think it's an 80s song. It's
Oh, really?
fantastic. You need to watch the video. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah, Kev likes one then that's something like My Future's So Bright, I've Got to Wear Shades, that was on Cuffs, the Christian Slater film.
I'll look for the one I mean, and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I do. I'll send you that one as well. Yeah, weirdly, this what you said just reminded me. There's like an ongoing joke on Peppa Pig that one of the characters is a vampire, and I'm enjoying it so much. Like, there's a bit where somebody says something happened 100 years ago, and she's like, "Oh, it reminds me of the old country," and she's got like an Eastern European, like a generic Eastern European accent. And then she didn't have a reflection on today's episode. And I was so happy. I was like, "This is just totally going over Nathan's head," but I'm loving it. And there's been like a couple of other things that like their teacher taught the parents as well. And she's never aged. And I love the fact that those like spooky parents around the world sitting there like, "Oh, we're actually getting something out of Peppa Pig."
And it's also a pig, the vampire?
No, she's a gazelle. She's Madame Gazelle.
Oh.
In fact, is her accent French? Maybe she's French. But yeah, and it's very much like alluding to Dracula and stuff. And I really am just enjoying that.
That's cute.
And yeah, some of you said Kasha, sorry, that just reminded me. I was like, yes, because Peppa, I mean, is okay, but it's no Bluey. I mean, any parents watching this, there's like definitely a ranking system of kids' TV shows. And I enjoy Mickey Mouse. I enjoy Bluey. Peppa less so. She's quite annoying. But if there's a little vampire ongoing storyline, I can get behind it. So Sabrina read 45 pages. I think we're going to wrap it up there. I feel like today's been a good, productive sprint. I've had one of those weird nights where I've not really, I wrote a bit because I needed to hit my daily target, but I've not written loads, but I figured a lot of things out. Like the spreadsheet is now full of my notes of like, this is the stuff I need to do. But I think my editor just wanted to know, like, sometimes stuff is in my head, but I haven't put it on the page, like what people are thinking and why they're behaving certain ways, like what their actual end goal, like, because it's about cults. Some of the people's behavior is very outlandish, and it's just making it really clear. The reader, obviously, I hope, won't be thinking like these people, so I've got to make their mindset really clear. Although Ren does keep saying, like, you've really got into the mindset of a cult leader here. I'm like, thank you. Because it's really, really, like, it's probably as far out of character as I've read some of it. Like, murderers and cult leaders are just kind of fairly far from my personality.
Yeah.
Just a bit. Okay, so on that weird note, thank you two for coming on screen. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
As always, it's been lovely. I'm trying to do these sprints more often, and every Thursday I'm trying to invite people on, but then like the other midweek ones, I'm generally coming on my own unless something comes up and somebody ends up coming on with me. Sunday, Kev informs me, is the next sprint.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
Sunday.
yeah, and that's another thing. I'm in Manchester on Saturday in Altrincham. There's Cynthia Murphy doing a signing. So if anybody wants to come and meet us, we are there. And as I said, I'm doing an event on the 31st of October with a few great authors, including Ravina Garon, who wrote This Book Kills, and one coming out soon that's really exciting. Tomi, who wrote The Changing Man, and Mia is going to be there, who did the anthology with me, and Laura Stevens. So that's quite a nice big YA horror thing coming up. So if anyone wants to see me, actually in real life, that's where I'm going to be. And then I've got MCM, Comic Con, and Yelk, which I'm going to see Kasha at. Hooray!
Yes,
Oh, exciting.
finally, again. We see each other once a year.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've got to make it. We see each other on screen
Yeah.
more often, luckily. But yeah, once a year, and you get to see like child shooting up as well, like how much he's changed within a year. You'll be able to tell.
Crazy. Yeah.
I just see the daily difference. You'll be able to see like from the baby to the big boy this year, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to head off. But thank you both, and I will see hopefully everybody next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.